A black flag flutters on the horizon. A ship breaks through the waves. Not a fleet, not an empire's warship, but a handful of desperate men. Sailors, criminals, deserters, and dreamers. Together, they created a world beyond law, beyond mercy, and beyond redemption. This is not the story of romantic rogues or treasure maps. This is the story of men who carved their freedom with blood and fire. Their lives were short, their ends were brutal. But for a moment, they terrified kings and empires. This is hidden by time. And this is the truth about the dark lives of real pirates. The age of piracy wasn't born from adventure. It was born from desperation. In the late 17th and early 18th century, wars between empires left thousands of sailors unemployed. Naval captains dismissed crews without pay. Merchant sailors lived on rotten rations, beaten for disobedience. Disease, starvation, and abuse made life at sea nearly unbearable. For many, piracy wasn't a choice. It was survival. Take Henry Every, a sailor in the Royal Navy who mutinied in 1694. He led his men to capture the treasure ship Ganj-e-Sawai of the Mughal Empire, one of the richest hauls in pirate history. The loot made him a legend, but the massacre of its passengers, torture, slaughter, and worse, made him a monster. Piracy was no golden age. It was built on blood. Yet pirates lived by rules stranger than any navy. They created their own societies, articles of agreement, pirate constitutions that every crew swore to follow. Captains were elected by vote and could be removed if they lost respect. Loot was divided equally with shares assigned by rank. Compensation was paid for injuries. A lost arm or leg earned a fixed reward. In some ways, pirate ships were more democratic than the kingdoms they preyed upon. But this freedom came at a price. A pirate who broke the code could be whipped, marooned, or executed by his own crew. The sea offered no mercy, and neither did the men who sailed it. Not all pirates were men. In the early 18th century, two women defied every expectation: Anne Bonny and Mary Red. Anne Bonny, born in Ireland, fled to the Caribbean where she joined the pirate calico Jack Rackham. Mary Red disguised herself as a man to serve as a soldier before revealing her identity at sea. Together, they fought as fiercely as any of their crew. Witnesses claimed they cursed and swore like men and fought like devils. When Calico Jack's crew was captured in 1720, most surrendered without a fight. But Anne and Mary resisted to the last. They escaped execution only because both were pregnant, a technicality that delayed their hangings. Their legend is rare, but their existence shows piracy offered a freedom to women denied everywhere else. No pirate is more infamous than Edward Teach, Blackbeard. He terrorized the American colonies in the early 18th century. His flagship, the Queen Anne's Revenge, carried 40 guns and a crew of 300. He wove burning fuses into his beard during battle, cloaking himself in smoke like a demon. But the truth, Blackbeard wasn't just brutal, he was calculating. He often captured ships without firing a shot. His reputation did the work for him. Yet his end was as bloody as his myth. In 1718, the Royal Navy cornered him off the coast of North Carolina. Blackbeard fought until his body was riddled with bullets and sword cuts. When he finally fell, they severed his head and hung it from the bow of their ship as a warning. Even in death, he terrified those who saw him. The life of a pirate was always short. Captured pirates faced public execution. In London, 1722, 52 pirates were hanged at Execution Dock in one day. Their bodies were tarred and hung in chains along the Thames as a warning to others. In the Caribbean, captured pirates were displayed in iron cages at harbour entrances, left to rot in the sun. Few lived long enough to retire rich. Most ended swinging on a rope. And yet, for those who risked everything, the noose was worth the chance of freedom. By the mid-18th century, the golden age of piracy was over. Navies grew stronger, trade routes better protected, pirate havens like Nassau were destroyed. But the legends remained. The Jolly Roger, skull and crossbones became one of history's most feared symbols. Pirate stories were exaggerated in ballads and novels, transforming murderers into romantic rogues. The truth of hunger, disease, mutiny, and terror was left behind. What we remember today is not who they were, but who we wanted them to be. The real life of a pirate was not treasure maps and adventure. It was fear, blood, and betrayal. They created fleeting kingdoms of freedom on fragile wooden decks, and lost them just as quickly. Their bodies washed ashore, their bones left in chains. But their stories haunted empires. This was hidden by time. If you found this story gripping, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and check out our other videos, where we uncover the dark truths behind history's most enduring myths. Because sometimes, the past isn't buried treasure. It's a curse waiting to be found.